Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate. I'm your host Rihanna Bahamut, and last time we began our raid on the Oda territory, and today we begin the search for Guansuo. Today we're running with Nene and Shuten Doji, so let's jump right on in. As is par for the course, the narration intro for this mission is fairly boring. Basically, Bao Sanniang is missing her husband Guansuo, and Nene says that she knows where we can find him. So let's just jump over to their introduction to the level. As you may have noticed, I'm running around with Nene in one of her alternate outfits. I just found it funny because she looks like a mini Ayane. The name of the game for this mission is hunting down garrisons. Pretty much, it's suspected that Guansuo is hiding out in one of them, so we have to go kill whoever's guarding it, then check around inside to see if he's there. Of course, that means a lot of running around trying to get to places, so expect some fast forwarding at some point. Also expect some hilarious misunderstandings by Himiko on who Guansuo is. It should also be noted that on the timeline we're actually in the middle of chapter 1, so some characters are actually still evil. Sun Wukong is also hiding out in the upper right hand corner, so as you might imagine, after we manage to find Guansuo, he's gonna be our boss for the level. So let's talk about characters here. Nene here is probably one of my favorite of the ninja characters, at least the ones not from Ninja Gaiden. She was essentially Kunoichi's replacement in Samurai Warriors 2, but she has better charge combos in my opinion, and she shares the doppelganger ability from Hanzo Hattori, so she can increase her damage by quite a bit using that. Unfortunately, her doppelgangers are tied to her R1 ability, so she can't just combine it with her Musou like Hanzo can for some ridiculous Musou action. Our other member is Shuten Doji, or as I like to call him, the Drunken Master. He always seems to be a bit tipsy in his attack animations, like right there when he's just face planting into the ground with his gourd. And his standing around animation looks like he's just swaying about like he's in a drunken haze. Outside of those interesting points, I hardly ever use him. I just don't like his attack animations and some of the odd lag he has on some of them, so I just tend to let him sit in the background. But let's not forget that he's actually very important to the plot for some unexplained reason that Taigong Wang hasn't seen fit to let us know yet. I swear, Taigong Wang is pretty kick-ass, but he's also quite the asshole. At least he's gotten better since Warriors Orochi 2, where he treated the Shu army like his own little personal box of army men. He was also working with a couple other mystics that joined the other factions. I wonder when we're gonna see some of them. One was a nice guy with a very large sword, and the other was, well, I don't know how better to put it, but a very frosty lady. Uh-oh, looks like Goku raised their alert level. And in all honesty, I am really not sure what that means. Seriously, there doesn't seem to really be an increase in the enemies that are hanging around the garrisons. And the enemies don't seem to really have any higher stats than they did earlier, so I don't know what that is supposed to do. Also, boost cannon. And Stripe Leg is nice enough to drop a good old gold scroll when we can actually put it to decent use. And that was probably my first use of the multi-hit switch combo that I used completely by accident because I was just trying to swap Nene in to grab some of the XP. Thankfully, our allies are actually good enough to clear out one or two of the garrisons without me having to run down there. Because I don't know about you guys, but that southern garrison is fairly out of the way compared to the plethora of garrisons up in the north, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to have to run down there and clear out. So you can kind of guess what I went and did the first time I did this mission. Fortunately, we're actually getting pretty close to clearing out all the demon-occupied fortresses and getting to some of the funnier ones. Which is, of course, heralded by Himiko's claiming that she found them. Of course we couldn't have found Guanzuo this early, but we have to think, who could it be? We're in chapter 1, so that means we have a bunch of guys who are on the bad guy's side who may pass for him. I mean, we have guys like Sun Xuan, Jiao Ba, maybe Toshie Maeda. Although I guess the only way to truly know is to run up there and take a look inside ourselves. I have also recently realized that Jiang Wei's big star weapon is almost maxed out in compatibility, so his damage is doing crazy things at this moment. May need to consider replacing him with someone else soon. Alright, it's time for the big reveal. Who is it? It's Cao Ren! I'm gonna have to take Bao Sanniang's side here. Guanzuo is more of a Bishonen girly man than Cao Ren's stoic tough guy thing. Although I guess we now know the 10-year-old's type. Oh, and it looks like Toshie Maeda is the one hanging out in the middle garrison. Of course, his reveal isn't as funny as Cao Ren, so he doesn't get nearly as much fanfare. Although now comes the part of the mission where we get to do the back and forth jive. We have to go down to a garrison, back up, around, down to a garrison, back up, and around, down to a garrison, back up. It is kind of annoying, but in all honesty, we've seen worse backtracking in other missions. And thankfully, we found a double speed power-up right in that garrison, so this one will go pretty quickly. And of course, since Goku is the boss of this area, he has a ton of foot soldiers hanging around. But they aren't really all that important, so just killing a couple and moving on is all we need to do here. Thankfully, the central garrison actually got taken out by one of our allies, so I don't even need to go and see Toshie Maeda. So we can just head south for that one down there. It also looks like Himiko found another guy. Who is it? It's Guan Yu! Who is also Guanzuo's father, so at least it's a bit closer this time around. Guan Yu's appearance also means that we're actually getting pretty close to finishing off this mission. Of course, we still have giant pigmen that we have to take out down here. I've always wondered, is that actually a mask they're wearing, or is it their actual head that's the giant pig face? I mean, they could have the long silver locks that all their foot soldiers have. Or be one of like the snake dudes with the fangs coming out of their masks. I would bring up the demon ninja commanders, but they also wear masks, so who knows what the hell they look like under their helmets. Oh, and it looks like it's Jiao Ba sitting in our garrison here. I swear there's usually more commentary for Bao Sanniang whenever you find someone who is not Guanzuo. And it's usually some way of her saying that there's no way that could be Guanzuo because he's far more handsome in some certain way that disses whoever you find. As I recall with Jiao Ba, she usually says something like how Guanzuo would never wear some stupid helmet like he does. At least Jiao Ba is in zombie mode, so Bao Sanniang's hurtful words can't damage his feelings. And thankfully he can't use his R1, which lets him do some pretty crazy damage. Either way, we gotta run up to the north to help out Himiko, who's currently battling it out with Guan Yu. Although thankfully we don't really need to worry about Himiko that much. This is a funny, light-hearted mission. You don't need to really worry about everybody getting killed. And since we are dealing with the God of War, we must take the proper action and introduce him to our sky lasers. The Trinity attack is so handy to just bust out whenever you don't feel like dealing with a boss. And of course, Shuten Doji's victory pose at the end there involved him taking a giant swig out of his jug. And of course, we can't free Guan Yu from Goku's control here, otherwise that would cause a time paradox. Yes, instead of us actually having to save him from the demons, it turns out he shows up to try and help us out. Oh, the delicious irony. And at this point, all that's left for us to do is to take out Goku and the mission is over. I don't know why they bother trying to surprise us with changing the victory condition to killing Goku. I mean, he's a named character with his own personal portrait and everything. How could he not be the boss of the mission? Either way, we just need some ninja magic and we can finish off Wukong and end this mission. Although, of course, we gotta sit through some NPC dialogue before the mission officially ends. And ladies man get. Well, that's it for this mission. We have successfully rescued Guanzuo, even though he tried to rescue us, but hey, details. Next time we will be heading off for a showdown with the Takeda and the Uesugi clan, so I hope to see you all again there.